Good morning. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Sigma coin and the XRP coin. So yesterday we were checking in on thinking that we had ourselves the completion of an ABC down, ABC up, and then a starting of the 5-wave moves down, so we would be wrapping up our flat here. That did not happen, as you can see. So we have the breakdown where we basically had the ABC down, and now this full measured move is actually the ABC up move to the upside. So we can validate this in a couple ways. One, we have our measuring tool, so we can come in here and grab that measuring tool and show that we have kind of like a wick back up to the 1.236 for this measured move, massive rejection, and now we're kind of grinding back up to 290 before we head lower and break down and complete this flat structure. So we have that, and in addition to that, we have now a new target where we're looking somewhere around the 274 range for where we're going to probably be able to make our way back down to before heading back up again, and this would be a 5-wave move for a 5% potential increase. So I've flipped out of my spot XRP, and I'm moving back down to the RLUSD, and then I'll be reaccumulating spot down here. And ultimately I have a short that's currently upside down because I didn't have the best stop losses. This whole chop has gotten me a few times on that, so I've just been weathering it because my liquidation's pretty far away. So as we zoom in here, we're going to be looking for the completion of this 5-wave move to the downside. So right now we're just kind of chopping along to the this way, so I expect this to roll over, set a new low. We have this massive gap, chop to the side, and then continue our descent back down for this larger flat structure. In validation of where this could be something completely different is if we end up clearing this new now higher high that we've just set in for this region here. But the tell that this was not the completion of the flat was the fact that this didn't clear this high right here. So this was our ABC down, ABC back up for the larger move. And then it looks really, really great, but then this ends up rolling over and completing a next leg to the downside. So still short in this current time, but the good news is that this is our wave 1, wave 2 move, and we should be able to see this now complete this correction back down, sweep the light longs, and then we can finally get out of here. And we're looking for this higher low to come into play before the ascent. A good comparison of what this was and what this looks like from the past on XRP is if we go back to last year from 2024, you can actually see that we had the same exact setup here on XRP off the lows. So we had a 5-wave move to the upside, an ABC down, ABC up that was massively longer and drawn out, and then we completed this 5-wave move down with a higher low before the bounce. And that's what we're looking for, is this guy right here, that one-time bounce and higher low. And this is what I'll be expecting to see here on the price action, moving our way back down. Where are we at here? There we go. Moving our way back down to the bottom, and then a bounce, and then eventually we now head higher. So we'll just keep watching this. Obviously, in validation is if we break above this region here. Again, this could be a larger ABC is how I'm looking at it. And in validations where things start getting squirrely is where we start moving past this. But even that, if we do break above a new high, will be an opportunity for an ABC back down again into this region, and then we can continue. But I suspect that we'll be able to sweep the entire range and head back down into these 274 regions. So that's ultimately how I'm looking at it. One quick jump over to the Bitcoin dominance is this wedge pattern that we've been working through. Has a beautiful bounce off the wedge for its Bitcoin dominance, found resistance at the wedge and is now trying to get through it, but I suspect it will be one more kind of like little pullback and then we break out, or we'll move to the top of the range here and we end up breaking out and then back testing and maybe doing a double back test here before we can actually set out of here. So that's kind of how I'm thinking of the two price actions. So we either get stuck below the wedge and we do that, or we get above the wedge and we do that. So, but in either case, it's going to be the same kind of outcome, which will be the dominance holding much better than it was, and then we can finally get out of here on this next leg. Then jumping over to our Sigma coin, we've got a really good green day today of 3% to the upside, and we have a beautiful daily bounce here for the last 2 days, right off that 886. So we hit it, everybody. There was your 886. There was the trigger to flip. Buys started stepping in. RSI is flipping positive, and you can see that the daily Stoch RSI is positive. The daily RSI is moving back above 40. And our 3-day has maintained or right around the 40 here. And they're about to see a flipping on the bullish momentum. So this will start being a move to the upside for Sigma. And if we zoom back into the 1 hour, I would expect that we will probably get back up into this resistance area. And you can almost, I would just basically say that we'll probably be looking to do some kind of chop off the lows as XRP completes its final correction here. And we're going to be looking at something like this on our way out of here. And let me get that wave there. There we go. And we would just see that kind of chop, which is very similar to what we would expect right here and what we did on the Cardano chart back in this region. So just getting back up into this resistance and then eventually can start finding its way out of here. So the long journey is almost over, everybody. We're just going to be waiting for these last moves. And I'm excited for watching XRP just kind of complete its last correction here with Bitcoin, freak everybody out after they thought it was all going to be okay. And then it will be officially okay. But in the long run, this is our third, our wave 1, wave 2 completion that's going to come in down here, and then we can get out of here. So I'm excited for it. And remember, your wave 2s can take back a majority of the move. So you can easily expect a 70, this whole move gets taken back down to this level. Again, a potential 5% pullback. That could be very, very beneficial. Invalidation is if we start sweeping above it. But looking at the liquidity, I think we got a lot of late longs that want to be taken out. And there's your 275 right there, at minimum 277. And that 277 would take us to the 702. So somewhere in this region here is where I would expect to be relonging again with the spot and finishing out my short, and then ultimately flipping long for our bias, and we can ride this thing and let's go. And we can even wait for the higher low to do it, so you don't even have to be super excited. You got plenty of time. That's what we're looking for. So all right, thanks guys, we'll talk soon, and thanks for watching.